Hi YouTube, welcome to another edition of Horror Hands, and for this video we're going to be talking about probably one of the most underrated Stephen King movie adaptations, The Night Flyer. From 1997 and directed by Mark Pavia, who only had 30 days to shoot the movie and actually did it in 29. I'm sure the studio loved him for that. This is a dark and mysterious tale about a pilot who flies around at night, hence the Night Flyer, and lands in kind of nearby local smallish airports, but ends up killing anyone that's around. And not only does he kill them, he also drains them of their blood, and no one knows who's doing it. And this is picked up by a bit of a seedy reporter played by Miguel Ferrer, who's an underrated actor himself. He gets given this story by the magazine company that he's working for, and they ask him to find out more about it. So he goes on a trail to try and discover who the Night Flyer is and get the front page on his magazine. And this leads him on like this obsessive quest to find out whoever or whatever may be the Night Flyer. But there's a number of things that I liked about this movie. As I say, it's from 1997, and I always appreciate anything with a late 90s vibe to it. And it's a movie that it's kind of shrouded in mystery, and there's a feeling of dread throughout the whole thing, mainly sort of with regards to like who is this Night Flyer and what motivates him. And the Night Flyer creature itself is kind of kept away from the movie quite a bit, which does work very well in this case. We do see him throughout the film as he kills people, but on the whole he's kind of out the way or shrouded in darkness, which only adds to his mystique. And it's a film that doesn't feel the need to kind of spoon feed you information or give any kind of unnecessary exposition, which I really liked about it. You do get to see the Night Flyer creature towards the end, and you see his kind of face in detail, and he looks really awesome, and the effects behind it were really good. I really appreciated that, and I liked how they kind of held back and then sort of just threw him out there at the end. It worked really well. Miguel Ferrer is, as I say, he's an underrated actor, and he's really good in this. He plays the role of sort of like seedy, morally questionable characters really well. I really liked him in RoboCop. He's a bit more kind of aggressively villainous in this movie, whereas there was a bit more sort of a wormy rat in RoboCop. Here he's a bit more forceful and really not a particularly nice guy, which makes it interesting because he's not kind of the hero character that you follow and want to succeed. So it's got an interesting feel as the Night Flyer. It's also got quite a lot of kind of really sort of great Stephen King type moments that I think would have been particularly creepy in the book. I must confess I've not read that one, but like the scenes where the old woman sees the old man get killed in the airport cabin, and the guy who's inspecting the plane who gets killed by the vampire. I imagine that would be really scary in the book, but it plays out really well when there are hints of Stephen King. You can see his work and his touches in the story. There's also a few quite good Stephen King references. So the scene where I think Mel Ferrer talks about a story of a kindergarten teacher who killed her kids because she thought they were plotting against her. That's actually taken from a short story from Stephen King's book Nightmares and Dreamscapes, which features the Night Flyer. So a cool little connection there. They've kind of really thought about it and thrown in some Stephen King Easter eggs. So this is the Night Flyer is not his best movie adaptation. There's quite a few other movies that I think are better than the Night Flyer, but I'm labeling this as probably the most underrated Stephen King movie because you just don't really hear about it, and I'm guilty for sleeping on it all this time. This is the first time I've watched it, but it should definitely get more recognition than what it gets, so I wanted to give it a bit of coverage. I want to thank Lee Wooldridge as well, one of my viewers. He actually sent me this, after hearing in my 24-hour movie marathon that I didn't own it. So that's such a kind thing to do. Thank you so much, Lee. I really do appreciate it. I had a couple of people offer to send it. Lee was just the first. So thank you so much, everyone who offered to hook me up with the Night Flyer. I really did enjoy the movie. So let me know. Let me know if this is a movie that you've seen. Do you enjoy it? Are there any other Stephen King adaptations that you think are more underrated than this one? So thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for more videos.